Alright, so I feel like I had to come back to this one. Uh, the woman with the penis, because it was too much fun, I think, for me. And I kind of. Hmm, uh, I think part of me just wanted to talk some more. But I did kind of forget that to mention sort of the background. I think because I've talked about it in other videos that I kind of sometimes I forget to include things that are relevant to what I'm talking about in separate videos. And that is the using my penis in the past was often a kind of source of anxiety. I had a lot of anxiety around it. Had trouble performing, even whether it was with a woman or a man. Anytime someone was attempting to give me head or trying to arouse me by touching my penis, I felt very uncomfortable. There was I don't know if that would count as gender dysphoria, if that was just a fear of abandonment thing. I'm not entirely sure what that was. Uh, so that is kind of where there were many times I would go through that, and I would feel like when I was kind of questioning my manhood, my masculine identity, that there were times when I kind of thought that almost like I felt like I didn't deserve to have a penis, or I didn't. Like I said before, it just wasn't meant for me. Uh, but when I one of the things that happened to me when I first saw myself as a woman, I don't remember if it was the first time or the first, like within the first 3 or 4 times, I noticed that I felt ready for sex, which is one of the part of what convinced me that I was trans, because I had these kind of hang-ups around sex. I felt like I could have had a lot more sex in the past than I did, especially with women. I kind of felt like I'm not going to say that I could have had any woman that I wanted, but I would often see women that I was attracted to and not even attempt to do anything with them, just because of the anxiety or the kind of the fear that it would fail, that I would fail, that I would not please her, and seeing myself as a woman and feeling that kind of arousal, which was it was an unusual arousal. It was something I hadn't really felt before, where it was kind of like before for 30 plus years, my insides were kind of a knot. Like almost like it was making it difficult for me to breathe. Almost like my breathing was very shallow, kind of thing. And when I saw myself as a woman, it was like this knot kind of came untangled, and it actually, I felt a blood flow. It was like my blood flow just kind of went directly to my groin, and I just felt like, for the first time in my life, I am now ready for sex. I am now. I feel like there was a sexual frustration there that started to make sense. That there was a lot of the frustration was coming from this idea of feeling the need to perform as a man. And I don't mean necessarily to perform with the penis, but just to just to be a man, I guess. And there was I may be repeating myself again here some, but a lot of that there was a fear of revealing my feminine side. I mean, I was dating a girl, and I told her once that I wished that she had a penis, which that wasn't a joke. There was a part of me that wanted to be penetrated by her, and she didn't like that. She thought that was disgusting and asked me never to. Actually, I don't think she asked me. I think she told me, don't say that again. Or something like that. Or I think she just said, that's disgusting, I think is what she said. But that was true. There was a part of me that wanted to be penetrated, but I wanted to be penetrated by a woman. But it also happened that I was actually penetrated by a tranny once. I was very drunk. I didn't even intend for it to happen. I had gone to a gay bar, specifically to just be able to go out and drag. I had started. It was shortly after my discovery. I started. I had tried dressing in women's clothing and wigs several times, and I was ready to go out in public. My first time out in public was to a drag show, the Salisbury Pride parade thing, but that was only once a year. So there was a one night I was already drunk in my apartment and dressed up, and I just had this urge to get out. And so I drove drunk down to a gay bar, which was an hour away from where I lived. I'm actually surprised that I made it, just because I was so drunk and it was an hour drive, and I wasn't even entirely sure how to get there. But I did make it, and I at first was not very pleased with how it was going when I got there, because apparently I did a very bad job of my makeup and whatever, but I walked into the place and I was like oil and water. I mean, I walked in and gay guys were just dispersing, just walking away from me. And but I didn't give up. I wasn't really there to meet a guy. I was just there to, like I said, just be out in public in drag, appearing, expressing my feminine side. I was super drunk though too, so I walked back into a back dance room where people are dancing, and I see this young girl dancing. She was like about 5 feet tall. She looked like she was probably 21 years old, and she was cute. And I was drunk, so I started dancing with her, and I don't remember actually thinking that this was a trans girl. I just remember thinking that she was cute. And she ended up taking me back to her place. She knew I was drunk, and I didn't want to drive back home, and so she took me back to her place, and one thing led to another, and next thing I knew, she was on top of me, putting her penis inside me, and it felt amazing, but then I blacked out. I think maybe it was just too much for my brain to handle. But I do remember thinking that I wanted to try that with a man. That there was something, I don't want to say lacking, but there was a part of me that wanted to have that experience with a more masculine energy. I think there was a certain kind of energy in it that I just didn't. It just couldn't satisfy my curiosity. It was my first time being penetrated ever with a live penis. But it was certainly enjoyable, but it did kind of make me think that, you know, a woman with a penis is kind of cool, but it's not the, you know, that's not the, it's not the real deal, I guess. It's the kind of, and I think that's, I don't want to just act like I'm just totally worried about whether this is what I'm meant to do or not meant to do, but I just oh my goodness. I just feel like it is something that's on my mind, and I'm just telling you what's on my mind. I do feel like there's not necessarily an answer that you could give me, or an answer that I could come to just by talking about it, and really the only thing for me to do is to try it.